All right, welcome to the #1 Bengals podcast. And I'm joined as always by John Sheeran. I'm sorry, actually, Dr. Hoji the Electric Smoji can't be here. And that is because he is on a book tour. He's written a book, John, I don't know if you know, about his vegan diet. It's called the Veggie Crunch Diet. And he claims he's lost 4 pounds. And he's come out with a line of slim clothing for heavy men called HE Slims. And the clothes, he says, are made out of 1,000% recycled materials, whatever that means, which includes sewer waste and human hair. No animal hair, but yeah, human hair. So Dr. Hoji is not here, which is unfortunate, because we have perhaps the greatest guest in the history of mankind. Okay, I'm talking about Bengals Director of Communications, Emily Parker. And for you, those of you who don't know who she is, first of all, shame on you, first of all, because she is one of only 3 women in the NFL who are the PR managers for NFL teams. And it is, of course, as you know, this is International Women's Day, just passed. So this is a good time to catch up on her history. And she has a BA from Syracuse in broadcast journalism and psychology and graduated with honors. And she was a reporter for Indiana's WLFI. Then she was public relations, social media contributor for the Heisman Trophy Trust. Then she was Fox Sports manager of communications and their publicist. The Bengals were lucky that she grew up in Cincinnati, loves the team, and decided to help the team and work for the team because she is the most qualified person in the world for that position. So with that, I want to welcome the very, very, very special Emily Parker.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. And that was quite the introduction you gave for me there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sorry, we were short on time. I had so much more I wanted to say about you, but yeah. Thank you, Emily. So tell us about what you do, what it's like. What's your job, your background, everything?
Yeah, so I've been with the Bengals almost 5 years, and in my job, I oversee all of the communications, which includes internal and external communications. That means I do things like work with our players and coaches on all of their media appearances on the local, national level, podcasts, radio hits, all of that. And then I am also involved in our content side of things and the strategy around our internal platforms, which include Bengals.com, our app, social media, TV, radio, all of that. And so it's a fun job. I get to touch all aspects of the organization, and I'm ready to answer any of your questions.
That is amazing. And you, Emily, if I may say, you are part of a triumvirate of powerful women that work for the Bengals, right? Along with Elizabeth Blackburn and Marissa Contepelli, who are revolutionizing the team. And I am a big fan of all 3 of you. Really big fan. Okay, actually, I just came out with the article about Elizabeth Blackburn saying how she is going to really change the trajectory of the team. And I just want to dispel a rumor, if it's okay. I was accused of being a mouthpiece for the team. They were saying that the team is leaking things to me in exchange for positive spin. So can you please just tell our viewers that I am not a puppet? I don't have some sort of inside information with the team.
Are you sure you don't want to rephrase that real quick? Because I feel like you just kind of contradicted yourself a little bit there.
John, you're not helping. Yeah. but look, okay, Emily, look. Okay. Let us get right down to it. Okay. So we have a lot of questions from the fans and John and myself. So I guess my question is, what I know the least about is how the team handles medical issues, right? Because we've had some mysterious injuries and they've lingered. And we've had a lot of rookie injuries that we didn't foresee. And they've been done. And from afar, a lot of people think maybe the medical staff is, undermanned, if you will. And I personally, look, I am all for efficient healthcare. I get the job done with no waste at all. You can ask John. I got every one of my staff members
No,
insured.
don't listen to him. He just got us a first aid kit from Dollar Tree. Like that's not exactly what
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
talking about.
everybody, for all of the staff. That was like $3 or $4 right there. And then no, but I'm very careful with the COVID protocol, right? I make sure that everybody is safe from yeah. I provide the packets for the COVID, John, right?
Yeah, you just got us free face masks from those vaccination sites. I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to spin here. I think.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You want
yeah.
you
But
want to
Emily,
continue with this?
no, it's okay. But Emily, I'm just trying to say. So, what are we missing when they look? Is the medical staff? Is it up to par? Is it what? What? Yeah, go ahead, please.
I mean, injuries are a part of football, and we've obviously had some bad luck when it comes to injuries, but that has nothing to do with our medical staff. In fact, we've got some of the best rehab guys around. I think a lot of people, when you talk about Nick Crosgray and how he's been able to get so many players back from ACL injuries and other stuff, and he's obviously working directly with Joe Burrow right now. And I think that, yeah, injuries happen. It's no fun, and they've happened to some of our high-profile guys, but we've been able to get these guys back because of proper rehab and all of that. And I think that's what you'll see again this year.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good to clarify that. But look, okay. So my co-host, Dr. Hoji Electric Smoji, I'm sure you've heard of him, right? He's a famous guitarist. Yeah. He has some suggestions. Is it okay if I share? He wanted to share those with you, Emily. Is that okay? To pass
Yep.
along to the medical staff? Okay. So these are okay. He has a lot. I'll just read some of them. One is to train the players in salsa and tap dancing to improve their coordination. Another is what he proposes is called the cabbage soup diet. I don't know. That sounds really kind of gross. But another is to have the players wear their birthstones during practice and to journal their feelings after games. He is very serious about coffee enemas, weekly for the defensive players and bi-weekly for the offensive players, and stuffed emotional support animals that players can carry with them to away games. So these are some of the suggestions he is proposing. I don't know if you wrote those down. You can go back and watch this later. But yeah. So I'll pass.
I appreciate those suggestions.
No one really knows why and how he got to be a doctor, but that's just what he tells us. Emily, we had a question from a fan on Twitter. His username is at @r_spatula, and he actually told me yesterday that he put down a deposit for his first ever season tickets, and so he's really excited about the direction of the team. But he was actually curious in regards to you. What do you think makes the Bengals organization and really its fan base, I guess, unique compared to around the league?
Yeah, I mean, we think we have the best fans in the country. And I think that you really see that passion, and that's what we really want to tap into on game day. There's a lot out there about how we want to revamp the game day experience to the point where you need to be in Paul Brown Stadium. Obviously fans watch around the country on TV, and we appreciate all of that support. But what we really want to do is have fans have a reason to come to Paul Brown Stadium. Obviously, it starts with winning football. We understand that the number one priority is to win games. And we've got a lot of excitement around Joe Burrow and our young core that will make us win games, which is the number one goal. But we really want to feed into that energy that our Bengals fans have and the passion that they have. You see everybody dress up in the stripes and really just lean into the whole jungle theme. And so I think that you'll see noticeable changes around Paul Brown Stadium on game day. We're really playing into the idea that, we've got a diverse fan base, and some people want to go because they want to party during the game, and some people want to be near the action and cheering as loud as they can, and some people want to be in the club seats and maybe entertain clients. And so we're really tapping into all of the different fans that we have to really customize the game day experience. And I think it's going to be unlike anything you've seen before, and we really hope you'll join us this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened with Dadio there, but I think if you can expand a little bit more about like what is the Canopy craze? What are these new benefits that season ticket members are really expecting? What's like the difference between what we've seen in years past and what we can expect in 2021?
Yeah, so I think the Canopy Crazies is really kind of targeting that millennial generation that has that fear of missing out and wants to be a part of a unique experience every game where they can post about it on social media to show they were there. And so, as part of the package, they get an exclusive T-shirt, and we're kind of saying, the first round's on us because each game they get a $10 food and beverage credit that they can go buy the first beer and start the party early. And so, I think that's going to be something that is going to be really fun, and yeah, we're excited about all of those Canopy Crazies just to really own that atmosphere up there.
I think, yeah, Daddy, you want to speak up?
No, go ahead. Is there an echo? Someone has the echo or headphone? I don't. Yeah, no, that's just great, Emily, because Canopy Crazies means something completely different in our village. It's the kind of the more extreme members of the king's retinue who are just, calling for war and just kind of, and so that is, it's so great to hear it is more a peaceful approach. But Emily, so I have some questions about communication, which you direct, right? So before you arrived to the Bengals, I believe the communication for the Bengals was we had, I would write letters to Mike Brown, and he would respond personally to every letter. I estimated probably around $20 to $25 just on postage he would spend for letters. It's crazy, and now, right? There's just so much. The social media has blown up. I am, as they say, feeling the burn. Elizabeth Blackburn, yeah, and yeah, and on the one hand, we love the engagement, we love the transparency from the players, but what do you do when you have like a social media outburst, right? Like we had Bobby Hart. Who was that? Was that handled, inside, where he was talking about, some very controversial things about the virus, or about education, or about let's say prescription medicine. So I know that he just kind of cut that out after a while. So how do you handle that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think social media is something that obviously is a big part of our generation right now. And so it's a balancing act with the players, because really utilizing it in a way to connect with fans in a direct way is something that we see a lot of success around, but it is a balancing act. And, we talk with our players to remind them that it's easy for something that they say to be taken out of context, to be used as, whiteboard material, bulletin board material, to be on ESPN, on SportsCenter, on any of that stuff. And so really it's just a constant reminder that yes, we all use social media and it's a great tool, but you have to be sure that you're doing it smart and using it in the right way.
Yeah, that's great. So, John, if you want to ask another question, or we can go to the Reddit questions.
Oh yeah, we gotta get to the Reddit ones. There's a lot of them there.
We have a lot of Reddit questions.
Yeah.
We have a big following on Reddit. Yeah, and so look. So one question comes from Gart's Lonely Rat, user Gart Lonely Rat. That is very, very sad name. But he says, what are you doing to combat the perception that the financial bottom line is more important than winning? Now, let me just say, this is very frustrating, and it hits me personally hard, because I have the same thing. John used to say, you're cheap. He used to call me all the time. He said, DNH Sports headquarters is freezing, and I got him gloves. He said, the parking is too expensive. I validated the parking, and tell him, John, about the.
Yeah, I think you just dug your own grave there. I don't know about.
Yeah, it was a clever trick. I had one of those quarters, with the string attached to it, and he can just keep putting it in, pulling it out, and it's free parking. And similarly, the Bengals, just last year, they spent $150 million or so on free agency, and it's still, people don't trust them. Look, Duke Tobin just came out, and correct me if I'm wrong, he said, we're going to get all the big free agents. We're getting all of them. We're going to stack that offensive line. It's going to be amazing. And you still have people saying, like when my article about Bernie, and people were like, oh, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, you're seeing it. It's different already. So what else can the team do to kind of erase the memories of, like these stupid rumors like Mike Brown swims in the money bin? Come on. That's not true, right, Emily? I mean,
yeah, I want to reiterate, winning is our number one priority. And as Duke mentioned yesterday, over the past 10 years, the Cincinnati Bengals have been in the top half of the league in terms of spending to the salary cap. We will spend on players. We have shown that time after time, but we do so in a way where the salary cap, the way that we manage it, is done in a way that allows us the ability to re-sign our own players, to have cap flexibility. We'll be able to take advantage of that this year because I think some teams are in a lot more of a cap stress period with the salary cap potentially going down. And so, yes, we spend on players. You may disagree with which players we spend on, but you cannot say we do not spend on players. And so we like to reward our own players who have proven that they deserve a second or a third contract. You see a lot. And free agency is hard to predict, but last year we were very active in free agency, and it should be fun next week to see how it all shakes out.
Yeah. I mean, I guess a follow-up question on that, Emily, would be that, so Who Dey Gym number one on Reddit says, would something like an indoor practice facility help in terms of changing that image and bringing in, free agents that maybe would go to other teams, maybe showing that it is a new day, which it is, but, just showing them.
I don't think an indoor practice facility has anything to do with that. We obviously got big free agents last year, so I don't think that's an issue at all.
Yeah, I don't either. It's just some people don't know where to spend their money. I'll just tell you. So I go to an ice cream shop and I see all these people wasting their money. What do? I buy a cone, 10 cents, 25 cents, 50 cents max. You want to get a waffle cone maybe. And I get as many free samples as I want. And I put them into the cone and boom, I have the greatest ice cream cone ever. No wasted money. It's because look at how I dress. See, I understand economics. I understand business. And so do the Bengals. And I love to see that.
Just to preface there, like Dadio's whole in terms of like what to wear into work, he's listed as business homeless. I wouldn't really take that into too much context. But we actually had a comment from the comment section saying, can John please ask the questions? I feel like people are kind of tired of you talking. So I'm going to ask Emily the next question. Emily, you've been with the Bengals for about half a decade now. And I feel like you and your team have made a lot of progress in terms of what your side of the business is. Is there any like goals that you feel like that you've successfully achieved in your 5 years? There's any other goals in the near future that you feel like you're on the precipice of achieving?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that I've done, and John, is I've really tried to reach out to the blogger community. I think, traditionally, we've worked with traditional media, which includes obviously things like the Inquirer, local TV, the Athletic, all of that sort of stuff. But we recognize that there is a whole set of Bengals fans that is consuming Bengals content in different ways. And so really trying to understand how people get their Bengals news and what they want to see within their Bengals news to kind of customize opportunities for people that kind of started kind of on the fan side of things and really just writing fan related blogs and podcasts, knowing that there is a big fan base that likes to listen to that content and seeing if we can work together to help them amplify some of their platforms and help get our message out to different audiences.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry for Christopher Hanrahan, who said, John should ask the questions. But look, Emily, another question from Reddit, from the Bopper00. The Bengals, there is leaked pictures of the Ring of Honor, of banners all over the stadium. We know it's coming, right? Ring of Honor on the way.
Is it?
I feel like you should know more about it than I do.
That was a good attempt, though.
Yeah.
I'll just say is Elizabeth Blackburn mentioned in her vision on Bengals.com, and if you haven't read it yet, you definitely should. It's an awesome piece that really plays out.
I haven't read it. I've memorized it. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
it's awesome. But as she says in there, is we are working on ways, big and small, to make sure that our Bengals legends get the recognition that they deserve. And obviously you saw recently a social post that called out the league for not including Ken Riley in the NFL honors piece. And I reached out to the league and they apologized for doing that it was an oversight on their end. But we're going to be vocal in those scenarios. And we're really lucky that, we do have somebody like Jeff Hobson on our staff who does have a voice. He has a vote in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and it is our goal to get more players into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And so I think, you'll see over the coming months how that kind of will evolve, but you'll see a lot of content around it. And I think we're excited to show everybody just all of the Bengals legends that we have. I think we've done a really good job the past few years from bringing them into Cincinnati, allowing them to kind of relive their glory days, and had some really great events as it pertained to the 50th anniversary and the 1988 Super Bowl anniversary team. We've got the anniversary of the 1981 Super Bowl team coming up this year. So I think there's going to be a lot of fun stuff as it pertains to honoring our Bengals legends this year.
So just to clarify, the NFL did apologize about not mentioning Ken Riley, but they didn't mention anything about inducting him into the Hall of Fame, though, because I feel like that should also be kind of a part of that apology.
Yeah,
I do too.
And trust me, Jeff Hobson works harder than anybody behind the scenes to get the voters. And I think we were excited to see Willie Anderson in the mix this year. And obviously the next goal is to get him further in the process. But I think we're going to work with Jeff to get him the content and talking points and everything like that to really help him amplify his case, because he does have an inside voice. And I think that you guys, we're all hoping we'll see more progress with that.
Yeah, I just want to say, Jeff Hobson, okay, is like my hero. I just want you to know that, Emily. I was reading Jeff Hobson before John was born. Mm-hmm. Okay, so no, I'm serious. Like, there was a time where all there was Jeff Hobson. That was all the news you had about the Bengals. And unfortunately, I lived for a long time. I've been away from Cincinnati, and so the only basically, and he's such a brilliant writer. He's such a brilliant writer, such a great writer. So for I don't know how many decades I've been reading Jeff Hobson. Basically, this is all to say, can you please tell him to come on our show?
I'm sure he would love to come on the show. He's going on the Locked On Bengals podcast tonight for anybody of your listeners that want to listen to him over there.
The number 2 Bengals podcast.
Yeah, because we're actually, I mean, I hope he knows that we're the number 1 Bengals podcast. But that's okay. It's okay. I mean, you want to help all the the startup podcast too. I understand that. Emily. So, okay. Another question that we had was about, look, the Bengals, like I said, have been way more active in the community since Elizabeth Blackburn came, and since you came. And we saw the very, powerful statement in front of the National Underground Railroad Museum. One Reddit user stumbled upon unfortunately, a white supremacist kind of message board about the Bengals. I don't want to say what they said, but it was offensive and childish. So we know the Bengals are now supporting, again, Bernie, feel the burn, the Black-owned apparel line, making Bengals custom line. And what else are they going to do to be more active in the community and help people of color feel more accepted? Because, as you know, the demographics, the nature of the region where most of the Bengals fans come from is perhaps at a disadvantage when it comes to some diversity issues and understanding them.
Yeah, I'll first start by going and plugging Black-owned, and we've worked very closely with Means Cameron over there to create this awesome retail line that includes a jacket, a t-shirt, a bag, and a tracksuit, and all kinds of stuff. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, you should. And it was designed with the mindset of creating a conversation, creating a line that appealed to a diverse audience, and knowing that when people would see each other wearing those clothes, that it'd be like, hey, let's have the conversation. You're a Bengals fan. I'm a Bengals fan. Let's all realize we're all part of one community. And I think I've been lucky enough to be a part of our Positive Community Impact Committee. So I've been in the conversations that our organization, from ownership to the players, to coaches, have had, is we've really talked through how we want to make an impact to end racism. And I've I think with our players, what's really important is obviously oftentimes there's a financial contribution that goes along with it to help programs get the funding that they need. But they also want to donate their time, and to watch our players really take it as serious as they have, and to understand that they have unique perspective, but also a platform. And I know, Trey Hopkins was the one that him and Joe Burrow obviously read the speech in front of the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center. But one of the big programs that he's involved in is working on implicit bias, that biases exist for people and how to make people more aware of those. And another great program that we've worked on, and obviously COVID got in the way a little bit of it this year, but we're looking forward to really having the full program back, it's called the Dive Right program. And it's a flag football program that also includes conversations ahead of time with police officers, players, and just various people to really just make sure that the dialogue is happening. And I'll just end by saying that the locker room, for me, I'm again, lucky enough to be around all these players, but it's the most diverse group of people in any setting when you think about it, but they all come together for one common goal. And I wish that if everybody could have that approach, I think trying to have what we have here in this locker room and kind of bring it into the entire community, that's what's going to make our city, our country, everything, the world just a better place.
Beautifully spoken, Emily. Beautifully spoken. Really, I was touched. I will say this. I think that Marvin Lewis being the head coach was a big step forward for understanding in the community. And I think the next step forward might be hiring a general manager from a person of, people of color. Right? I think that would just, make such a loud message clear to everybody. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it'll be a person of color. I think right now Duke Tobin is our GM. He doesn't have the title of it, but he essentially has all of the functions of a GM. And so, that's obviously where we stand right now from that position.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. I mean, I know that he's like the head of the scouting and all that, but okay. So he is basically the general manager. Okay. Great. So look, I have one more question from Reddit that I want to ask, and it comes from XE Kilroy. Again, very strange name, but it's Reddit. And the name is, the question is about the new uniforms. And I will just say, Emily, I love the new uniforms. They look great. I love the stripes. I do. I love the simplicity.
How do you know what they look like, man?
Well, you've seen them, Emily, right? On eBay, the picture, right? You haven't seen them. You haven't seen the Director of Communications has not seen the new uniforms.
All I can say is I know there's a lot of excitement around the uniforms, and that it's been fun to see all the various mock-ups that are out there. And, whether or not there's the uniforms, whether they're out there or not, I don't know. But what I am excited about is when we get closer to releasing the uniforms, we've got a lot of really fun content tied to it. And I'm really looking forward to in a couple of weeks when we do the player photo shoot for it, and really just seeing players in our new uniforms for the first time. And I think that there's going to be a big rollout and a lot of excitement when they are officially released and everybody gets to see what real uniforms look like.
Yeah, I'm talking about the unofficial release. So the unofficial release that we saw, from the eBay photo, I loved it. I'm just telling you, if my opinion counts, and if, as they claim, I am an inside man for the Bengals, I'm a puppet, whatever that means. If that is true, I approve. I really like the orange color that you guys chose. I think it's more football-y, right? Less Halloween-y, more football-y. Matches the helmet. I love the simplicity. And I would just say this, Emily. I don't know if it's too late to slap these on there, but I took a poll, and I think everybody basically wants to see the tiger back. The tiger that we had was in 1997 to 2003, I think.
The leaping tiger.
Beautiful. Oh man, beautiful. Well, we had the leaping tiger in like the 60s or 70s, but this one from the late 90s, Emily, that is probably the most beautiful piece of art I've ever seen. I put it everywhere. I have it everywhere in my house. I I don't understand. I don't understand why we can't have it. Is it that we don't own the copyright? What, a lot of people have that question.
Are you talking about a real tiger or the tiger logo?
No, the tiger logo on the jerseys.
A real tiger is that's a whole other conversation. I think
we used to have a real tiger. We used to have a real tiger.
We're not allowed to do that anymore.
And then, no, because Hoji started the movement. Thank you, Hoji. But we used to have the tiger. But yeah, we had the tiger, the logo, and we had on the sides, and it was beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, I think the thing with like a tiger logo is there's a lot of schools on the high school, college, professional level that have a tiger logo. And so for us, with the Bengals B, it's something that is unique to us. And when people see it, they know it represents the Bengals. And so, we do have a secondary logo that is a tiger head that we use on certain aspects, whether it's from a graphic standpoint or from a merchandise standpoint. So there is still a tiger logo that is out there, but yeah, the Bengals B is something that is unique to us, and that's one of the reasons that I think it resonates with people.
Beautifully said again. Wow. The Bengals, I want to say how fortunate, I want to emphasize how fortunate they are to have you, Emily, because, I mean, really, I mean, what a talented team. And may I also say, I mentioned Jeff Hobson. I love Dan Horde. I love his voice. I love his personality. And love him. Also, please bring him on our show. Can you do that for me? Can you direct him to communicate with me somehow? Emily.
We'll have to work on that.
Okay. And of course, all the players and coaches too. And Mike Brown. I really want Mike Brown on the show. I think he will love it. Honestly, it's a free app. You just click the StreamYard. It just brings you right to the show. He's going to love it. He's going to love it. Please bring him on the show. And yeah. Woo, that was a lot. John, any more questions from you?
No, I think you covered it all, man.
Okay. Well, okay. I think we should actually, we have, John, our eBay ad.
Oh, yeah.
That we forgot. Yeah.
Speaking of eBay.
Yeah. So, Emily, I don't know if you know, but real quick, I want to take a brief minute to talk about eBay. Because if you have dead stock or latest release, you find the exact shoe you're looking for from eBay. And they have author dictators who will determine.
It's been 4 weeks to this. Authenticators.
Yeah, they have a sneaky author dictators. A sneaker. And they verify the box and the logo and all that stuff. And for people who have shoes over $100, which I have no idea where you find those kind of shoes. But yeah, you can. It is free to just flip your collection. So go to ebay.com/sneakers today. eBay, the world's best destination for discovering great value and unique selection. Emily, you can do that, and all the Bengals can do that too. Okay, so for John Sheeran and our very special guest, Emily Parker, I am Dadio Maktouk. Please subscribe and leave a 5-star review. We will see you next time. So long, Sviti. Bye.